Okay, good evening, everybody. This is the September 12th, 2018 meeting of the Planning Board of the Town of Smithtown. We're going to begin it with the Pledge of Allegiance, and you're all invited to join in. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Planning Board. The Planning Department would like to recommend the following items be recessed because the applicants are not ready to be heard at this time. Under zoning petitions, number 1, 2012-04, Storable Homes, Wisconsin. Number 2, 2012-02, Carlson Associates, Kings Park. Number 3, 2010-06, KVC Holdings. Under waiver requests, number 4, case 773, Scholar Estates in Comac. Under 288 application, Lizetta Street. And under final subdivision, number 1136, map of Open Meadow in Fort Salonga.
Is there anybody present who wants to be heard in any of the matters that were just read regarding which the Planning Department is recommending an adjournment or rescheduling? Seeing none, a motion please.
I move that we recess items 1 through 6 as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, so recessed.
Okay, the first item is number 7, a waiver request for 1096 Maloney Estates. This one cannot be acted on tonight because this was originally heard at the last meeting and it was not advertised in the newspaper, so therefore it can't be acted on.
But the fact that it wasn't advertised was not known at the time.
Yes,
when we
correct.
acted on it, but we found out subsequently.
Yep.
So it has to be re-advertised, etc.
Correct.
All right, so we have an applicant's request to adjourn it to the next meeting, which is October 6th?
The 3rd.
October 3rd,
Yeah.
okay, and everything will
And then we'll send it in the paper again, I'll have to post signs, and it's a new hearing, so.
Right, they have to re-notice it,
Yep.
and but if they're comfortable with the 3rd, everything can get done by then we'll recess it to the 3rd. Is there a motion on that?
In the matter of 1096, map of Maloney Estates, I move that we recess the public hearing to the October 3rd, 2018 meeting of the Planning Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, so recessed.
The next item is a waiver request for number 1111 J&C Scalera and Hopog. The applicant requests to waive 130 feet of sidewalk within the subdivision known as number 1111 map of J&C Scalera. The applicant received conditional final approval for this 2-lot subdivision from the Planning Board on February 3rd, 2010. The applicant was bonded for 130 feet of sidewalk on Old Wills Path. The applicant states that the sidewalks are not necessary and not desired by the homeowners. The Engineering and Highway Department have no objection to the request. The Traffic Safety Department has no comment. The Planning Department has no objection to waiving the sidewalks for the following reason. 1. Although the draft comprehensive plan update identifies Old Wills Path as a road that should have sidewalks due to its high traffic volume, the majority of Old Wills Path has no sidewalks and the town has no plans to install sidewalks along the road. Additionally, there are no sidewalks to connect to adjacent to the subject site. Therefore, installing 130 feet of sidewalk along the subject site will provide no public benefit. The Planning Department offers the following resolution for the Board's consideration. Planning Board Resolution number blank 2018. Waiver of public improvements for number 1111 map of J&C Scalera. Whereas the Planning Board has considered the request of Frank Patelli to waive 130 feet of sidewalk within the subdivision known as number 1111, map of J&C Scalera, now therefore be it first resolved that the Planning Board hereby approves the request of Frank Patelli to waive 130 feet of sidewalk within the subdivision number 1111, map of J&C Scalera for the following reason. 1. Although the draft comprehensive plan update identifies Old Wills Path as a road that should have sidewalks due to its high traffic volume, the majority of Old Wills Path has no sidewalks, and the town has no plans to install sidewalks along the road. Additionally, there are no sidewalks to connect to adjacent to the subject site. Therefore, installing 130 feet of sidewalk along the subject site will provide no public benefit.
Anybody present on behalf of the applicant?
The applicant submitted the affidavit of posting.
Thank you.
Vincent J. Tremarco, 1038 West Jericho Turnpike, Smithtown, New York. With due respect to my elder, Don King, I agree, and I won't waste any more time. We agree with the recommendation.
Mr. King, do you want to be heard on this matter as being the person in the audience? All right, since there's no one else present, any questions from any members of the board?
No.
Okay, we have a motion to close the public hearing, please.
In the matter of number 1111, map of J and C Scalera, I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none? Hearing is closed. Now on the resolution.
In the matter of number 1111, map of J and C Scalera, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the planning department.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none? So adopted.
Two final maps.
Okay.
Next one.
This is on the last one?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you got four next, sorry.
Okay, we have that one, I guess. And I can kind of, you guys can use that one, they can use that one, I can kind of go back and forth.
So, the next item is core, is a preliminary subdivision core land division. The applicant's requesting the matter be adjourned.
Yes, well, I have in my hand a letter dated August 28, 2018, from Donald J. King, the attorney for the applicant, addressed to Agnes Beyond, the clerk of the planning board, which states as follows: please adjourn the core land division presently on the planning board calendar for Wednesday, September 12, 2018, to a date in February 2019. Very truly yours, Donald J. King. But I also noticed that Mr. King is present here today, and we don't have a calendar yet for February. So, Mr. King, would you mind coming up so we can just make sure
Whatever's good
we're all
for
on the
you.
same page?
Whatever's fine.
Okay.
Any
So we
date
don't,
in February.
we don't have a calendar yet for February, but I anticipate having the first and third Wednesday in February, which will be either February 6th or February 20th. So you can request either one of those two dates, and we expect that everything will go as planned, and the calendar we will meet on either of those two dates, and there'll be no problems. If you are not willing to take that chance that everything's going to work out the way we hope it does, or we expect it to, the other alternative would be to request an adjournment to the last date that we have a meeting this year,
No,
which will be
I'll
in
wait till
December.
February
Or you can
6th.
go straight to February. So we have the 6th or the 20th. Your letter just said 20th. I'm sorry, your letter just said February 2019. We're meeting on the 6th or the 20th. As of now, that's going to be our intended schedule. So you can pick whichever of those dates and
6th
ask
is
for that.
great.
The 6th.
Thank you.
Okay. So it's application to adjourn or to recess the matter to February 6th, 2019.
Correct.
Okay. A motion on that, please?
In the matter of number 1169, Core Land Division, Kings Park, I move that we recess the public hearing to the February 6, 2019 meeting of the planning board.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? So recessed.
The next item's a final subdivision for number 1152 Leonard Land Division in Wisconsin. The applicant requests final approval to subdivide 1.47 acres into 3 lots in the subdivision known as number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division. This subdivision was granted conditional preliminary approval by the planning board on October 18, 2017. The applicant has complied with the conditions of preliminary approval with the submission of the final application. The final map of number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division, is comprised of one tax lot that fronts Lake Avenue and Oak Run Drive in Wisconsin. The parcel is 1.47 acres and is located in the R15 zoning district. The site is surrounded by R15 zoning and single-family dwellings. There is a single-family dwelling on Lot 1 that will remain. The applicant proposes to extend Westminster Court South approximately 100 feet to the south in between lots 2 and 3. This will provide road access to the properties to the south of the subdivision and is consistent with the area's master street layout that the planning board informally approved on September 14, 2014. The master street layout essentially connects Westminster Court South to Leary Lane and Heatherstone Lane. All of the lots conform to the minimum lot area requirement for the R15 zoning district. Lots 1 and 2 conform to the frontage requirement of 100 feet. Lot 3 received a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals on July 12, 2016 to reduce the frontage from 100 feet to 90 feet. In addition to the variance granted by the BZA, the proposed layout will require the following variances from the Planning Board at final plat approval. Lot 1 reduced the minimum front yard setback on Oak Run from 45 feet to 35 feet. Lot 2 reduced the minimum front yard setback on Oak Run from 45 feet to 35 feet. Planning board is authorized pursuant to section 322-30.4 of the zoning ordinance to grant the requested variances because 1, the change does not alter the density required by the zoning district. 2, the change complies with section 322-19 environmentally sensitive lands. 3, the change would not result in the addition of not more than one lot to the proposed subdivision, provided it does not alter the density of the zoning district. 4, the change would be incidental or minor and not alter the character of the neighborhood. The planning department has reviewed the variances associated with this subdivision and does not object to reducing the front yard setback from 45 feet to 35 feet for lot 1 and 2. The planning department believes an undesirable change will not be produced in the character of the neighborhood because one of the 3 houses on the north side of Oak Run Drive has a front yard setback of 32 feet. Therefore, a reduction of 35 feet is not out of character. Additionally, the variance request on lot 1 is not self-created, considering the house existed prior to the time Oak Run Drive was constructed in the subdivision to the north, number 997 map of Oak Run at Wisconsin. With respect to sidewalks, Oak Run Drive and Westminster Court South Extension are residential access streets with low traffic volume. Considering there is little traffic on these streets and no sidewalk exists on the streets, the planning department recommends that the board waive the requirement to construct sidewalks on these streets. Lake Avenue is a secondary arterial road with high traffic volume. The planning department has identified this portion of Lake Avenue as a street that needs sidewalks. However, there are existing sidewalks on the east side of Lake Avenue and none on the west side for the subdivision to connect to. The planning department believes there would be no public benefit of constructing approximately 90 feet of sidewalk on the west side of Lake Avenue. Therefore, the planning department recommends the board waive sidewalks on Lake Avenue within the subdivision. Section 248-24 of the subdivision regulation states that each subdivision is required to show a park area of at least 2 acres per 100 buildings. However, the Court of Appeals has ruled that the town cannot require the reservation of park area unless the planning board determines on a case-by-case basis that a need for parkland exists with respect to the individual subdivision. Based on the community facility study in the town's comprehensive plan, there is a need for parkland in the neighborhood in which this subdivision is situated. The subdivision share of meeting the need is approximately 0.012 acres. In cases where the planning board determines that a suitable park cannot be located or is otherwise not practical, the subdivider is required to pay a cash equivalent prior to filing the map. Given the location and small size of the subdivision, a dedication for park space would not be practical. Therefore, the payment of an equivalent park fee established at $7,200 is recommended as a condition of final plat approval. The Highway and Traffic Safety Departments have found the final application acceptable. The Engineering Department has found the plans acceptable with the following conditions. 1. Asphalt pavement for the roadways shall conform to the latest Town of Smithtown Type B paving detail. 2. The first roadway drainage leaching pool from the proposed Type 1 catch basin shall have a cast iron access cover set to grade for future maintenance. 3. The proposed drainage easement shall be as detailed on the grading and drainage plan, sheet 2 of 4. The Planning Department has reviewed the final application and has found it acceptable. Additional information. 1. Letters assuring availability of utility service have been received from the Suffolk County Water Authority and PSC&G. 2. The Smithtown Central School District has acknowledged this subdivision. 3. The amount of the inspection fee is estimated at $4,993. The amount of the park fee is estimated at $7,200. 5. The amount of the performance bond is estimated at $62,415. 6. The amount of the cash deposit is estimated at $1,500. 7. The amount of the performance bond to be posted is $60,915. The Planning Department recommends approval and offers the following resolution for the board's consideration. Planning Board Resolution number blank 2018, final plat variance for number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division. Whereas the Planning Board has considered the request of John Leonard for the following variances on Lot 1 and Lot 2 pursuant to Section 322-30.4 of the zoning ordinance of the Code of the Town of Smithtown for the subdivision known as number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division. Now therefore be it first resolved that the Planning Board of the Town of Smithtown hereby grants variances from the zoning ordinance of the Code of the Town of Smithtown for the subdivision known as number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division as follows. Below is the Table 1, modification of dimensional requirements. This table shall be shown on the final map to be filed in the office of the Suffolk County Clerk. A fee of $1,000 is required for these variances. Planning Board Resolution number blank 2018, final plat approval for number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division. Whereas the Planning Board has considered the request of John Leonard to subdivide 1.47 acres into 3 lots. Now therefore be it first resolved that the final plat of number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division is hereby approved subject to the following conditions. A. Posting of a performance bond in form and amount specified by a separate resolution of the Planning Board and for a term of 2 years. B. Posting of a general liability insurance policy to run concurrently with the term of the performance bond and in accordance with other provisions of Section 248 of the Code of the Town of Smithtown subdivision regulations. C, payment of an inspection fee and cash deposit as established by a separate resolution of the planning board. D, payment of a park fee of $7,200. E, final approval of the drainage and regrading plans to the satisfaction of the town engineer. F, asphalt pavement for the roadway shall conform to the latest Town of Smithtown Type B paving detail. G, the first roadway drainage leaching pool from the proposed Type 1 catch basin shall have a cast iron access cover set to grade for future maintenance. H, the proposed drainage easement shall be as detailed on the grading and drainage plan, sheet 204. I, prior to the commencement of construction activities at the subject parcel, including land clearing and other site preparation work, the applicant shall abide by the following conditions. 1, all limits of clearing and any individual trees to be preserved within the clearing areas must be marked with snow fencing or orange mesh construction fencing. Said fencing shall be located no closer to the trunk of any tree to be preserved than the drip line of said tree. This area to be preserved shall be as indicated in the tree preservation and land clearing plan prepared by Gary J. Benz, licensed land surveyor, dated September 1st, 2016. 2, upon completion of the installation of fencing as required above, the applicant shall provide written notice of the Department of Environment and Waterways, requesting inspection of the limits of clearing as marked in the field by the cited fencing. The applicant shall not commence construction activities, including land clearing or other site preparation work, until the marked limits of clearing are approved in writing by the Environmental Protection Director. And 4, the snow fencing or orange mesh construction fencing used to delineate the limits of clearing shall be maintained in place by the applicant until the completion of all land clearing and grading activities at the subject parcel. Second, resolve that the chairman of the planning board is hereby authorized to sign the final plat, thereby approving said plat after the town board has accepted a performance bond of satisfactory amount. Third, resolve that the conditional final approval of said plat shall expire 180 days after the date of this resolution, and within 62 days after the chairman of the planning board signs the final maps of this plat, unless said plat shall have been duly filed or recorded by the owner in the office of the Suffolk County Clerk. Planning Board Resolution Number blank 2018. Authorization to sign performance bond estimate for number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division. Whereas the town departments of engineering, traffic safety, highway, and planning have prepared a performance bond estimate to cover the cost of all required public improvements. Now therefore be it first resolved that the chairman of the planning board is authorized to sign the performance bond estimate for number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division, in the amount of $62,415 and establish an inspection fee of $4,993 and a cash deposit of $1,500. Therefore, the amount of the performance bond estimate to be posted with the town shall be $60,950.
Okay.
Donald King, 75 East Main Street, Kings Park, New York. The conditions are all acceptable to my client. This has been a long 12-year haul. I respectfully request that you grant the application.
Okay, anybody present who wishes to be heard on this matter? Mr. King just handing up the affidavit of posting. Any questions from any members of the board on this matter?
Just one question. The planning department staff has recommended that we waive sidewalks, which I think is appropriate in this case, but that is not reflected in any of the resolutions we're adopting, is it? Did I miss something? Or would that have to require them to come back at a later date?
No,
Please.
if we're,
You wanna come back?
No.
well, they're not on the performance bond estimate.
So there's no separate line.
They're not bonded for them to begin with, so we don't have to waive something that they're not gonna be bonded for. Oh, comfortable with that? Comfortable with that? Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I just have one. So is Westminster gonna be extended?
I believe that was a requirement so that the landlocked properties beyond that would have access.
But Westminster's gonna be extended just across the frontage of the one of the, and then it's gonna end.
That's it.
It's not gonna be Westminster Boulevard, it's gonna be still
Correct.
Westminster Court, just a little bit longer.
Correct.
Okay. All right,
Thank
motion to close the public hearing?
In the matter of number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division, I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Hearing is closed. Then on the first resolution, on the final plat variance.
In the matter of number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division, I move that we approve the variances as listed in the table of modifications as recommended by the planning department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? So approved. And adopted. Next, we have a motion on the final plat approval, please.
In the matter of the final plat, number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the planning department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? So adopted. And then lastly, please, a motion on the performance bond, which, as the record has reflected, does not include the applicant being bonded for sidewalks.
In the matter of number 1152, map of Leonard Land Division, I move that we adopt the performance bond estimate in accordance with the recommendation of the planning department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? So adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Looks like the next thing is the minutes.
Motion to adopt the minutes of August 15, 2018 meeting of the planning board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? So adopted. And I guess that leaves us with somebody making a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.